أهلا أهلا كيف الحال؟ Welcome to learn Arabic online with Loubna Duymayan. Lately, too many incidents have been recorded by the Arabic verbs. Today, we are all detectives. We will be after the doer, the number one wanted suspect. This is an emergency, and we can't stay passive under these circumstances. So, detectives, write down his name. اسمه المفعول. We are all in danger, so we can't stay indifferent. The doer is on the loose. Are you with me? I can't be effective without you. So team, together, everyone achieves more. Let's start. اسمه المفعول, the passive participle, is part of a speech present in Arabic. That is a verb describing something that happened to a noun, the victim, in the past time. Other victims are under the same effect. مفعول. This is the pattern to follow as our first clue. It describes the entity that receives the action or has the action done to it. Here are the complaints received. Let's analyze them. Ready? القلادة مفقودة. The necklace is missing. مفقودة. الولد مخطوف. The boy is kidnapped. مخطوف. هذه لوحة مسروقة. This is a stolen painting. مسروقة. الخزانة الحديدية مفتوحة. The safe box is open. مفتوحة. Open. رأى جثة الرجل المقتول. He saw the body of the murdered man. مقتول. Murdered. لدينا رجل مجروح. We have a wounded man. مجروح. Wounded. Too many cases. We're so busy. So let's solve them. Alright. The passive participle, or P, doesn't sound right, refers to something having undergone the action of the verb. It can be either a noun or an adjective, and will have a regular sound plural, the one ending with the waw noon, un, and will usually take the feminine sound plural when pointing out to non-human objects, the atu. For example, أكل. أكل, to eat. مأكول, so we have a hamza, we have kaf and lam, right? So we follow the pattern. مفعول, so we'll add the mim, right? We have a hamza. Since it is preceded by fatha, the alif is the best match. Ma, and we have the kaf with the dhamma, ku, and the waw, the long vowel waw, matching the preceding dhamma. Ma'kulun, eaten. Alright? So the plural of ma'kul, eaten, مأكولات. We have just to add the alif and ta مفتوحة. مأكولات. Food. Alright? Or شرب, to drink. شرب. So we have sheen, ra, and ba. Alright, 3 radicals. We'll follow the pattern مفعول. So we have mim, first radical. The fa is the first radical placeholder. Mash. And the second radical with dhamma, we add the long vowel, wow, and ba. Mashroob. Mashroob, a drink or beverage. And for the plural, we add just the alif and ta. Mashroobat, beverages. So this is the way it works. It can be pluralized, it can be dual, singular or feminine. The form 1 passive participle, the one with 3 radicals, form 1, is of the pattern مفعول, as I have explained. مفعول. Sounds all مفعول. The derivation of the passive participle arises from the application of this pattern to the stem of the verb. Alright? For example, let's check our cases. مفقود from the verb فقد. فقد, to lose. مفقود, so we have the mim, the first radical with sukun, second radical with dhamma, followed by a long vowel lam, and dal. مفقود. مفقود, it means lost or missing. القلادة مفقودة, and since القلادة is feminine, so مفقودة will match in gender and number. مفقودة, the necklace is missing. الولد مخطوف, the verb خطف. خطف is to kidnap. خطف. We have 3 radicals. So مفعول, mim is always there, part of the pattern. So first radical, second radical, third radical. The radicals, these are placeholders. So the fa stands for kha, makh with sukun, and ta with dhamma. You add the wow, makhtufun, kidnapped. Alright? هذه لوحة مسروقة. سرقة is to steal. سرقة. So what do we do? Easy. You add the mim and the sin, mas with sukun, روق. And since لوحة, painting, لوحة is feminine, so it has to match in gender. مفتوحة, from the verb فتح. فتح, to open. Alright, same thing. So we have the mim, the first radical with sukun, second radical with dhamma, followed by the long vowel wow, and ha, مفتوح, open, masculine. Here مفتوحة because الخزانة is feminine. رأى جثة الرجل المقتول. مقتول, قتل is to kill. مقتول, ميم, قاف, تا. Here, sukun, dhamma matches the wow, مقتول, and lam. Easy. It's all the same way. Form 1 sound verbs. You will derive most of the passive participles the same way. Very easy. For hollow verbs, الفعل الأجوف, the one with the weak radical in its middle, the alif, the weak radical. Its passive participle is acquired by the conjugation of the verb in the imperfect indicative, fancy name, or present tense. For example, here we have the verb باع, see, we have an alif in between. As the second radical here, we have an alif. So we will conjugate it in the present tense, always third person singular, huwa, he. يبيع, and you will substitute the prefix of the conjugation with the ma. مبيع, مبيع. So to باع is to sell, مبيع, sold. Alright? Here, البيت مبيع بثمن مناسب. The house was sold at a good price. Or you can substitute this passive participle with a verb conjugated in the past tense passive voice, because we don't know the door. So instead of مبيع, we may say بيع. So باع is the active voice. Alright, I know that we did not learn this yet, but don't worry. Just know that it exists. So باع, the active, هو. بيع is the passive form. So بيع البيت بثمن مناسب, or passive participle البيت مبيع بثمن مناسب. قال, قال to say, it's another word. الفعل الأجوف, الفعل الأجوف, hello verb. الأجوف. Alright? قال, يقول, he says or he's saying. مقول, you just delete the prefix here of the conjugation and substitute it with the ma. مقول, said. Okay? Alright, so the passive participle of assimilated verbs whose first radical is a wow are completely regular. For example, وجد, وجد, to find. وجد. هو دائما موجود للجميع. So we have the pattern مفعول. This is our pattern. So mim belongs to the pattern. We have the first radical, second, third. Wow with sukun, jim with dhamma. Alright, and you add the wow that matches the dhamma, it's part of the pattern. And dal. موجود. موجود means present or available or something that it's existing. So هو دائما موجود للجميع. He is always, دائما, always, always موجود. He is always available to everybody. للجميع. Okay? Alright. Next one. The passive participles of doubled verbs, الفعل المضاعف, are also completely regular. So الفعل المضاعف, geminate verb. الفعل المضاعف. For example, حبة, حبة is فعل مضاعف, because it has double consonants, same double consonant. حبة is to love or to like. So حبة literally is, we have three radicals. We have the ha and the ba and the ba. Instead of this shadda is the sign of double consonants. So you will apply this pattern. مفعول, محبوب. محبوب, loved. Alright? الطلاب المؤدبون محبوبون. مؤدب, it means educated. مؤدب is the passive participle of أدب. أدب, to educate. أدب. So, مؤدب is the passive participle of أدب. So, الطلاب المؤدبون, the educated students, are loved, محبوبون. And since the subject is plural masculine, So مؤدبون and محبوبون will take the suffix un, the sign of the case, because they are all in the nominative case. We have the subject predicate, all right? مؤدبون is describing the modifying adjective of الطلاب. So all have to match in case and the number. So un is the sign of the nominative case, and the wow, and the noon the sign of the sound plural. All right? Okay. So the passive participles of defective verbs الفعل الناقص whose last radical is a weak letter. When I say a weak letter, it may be a ya or wow, because mostly these letters are used as a long vowel. All right? So they sometimes may not carry any vowel on top of them. They would just elongate the sound of the preceding consonants. That's why they are weak, and they may change in form. You can't trust them. So are also easy to derive. You will work with the present tense conjugation of the verb, as we have done earlier with some of them. This time we will top the last letter with shadda, the emphasis signs, that slanted W, the sign of double consonants. For example, here, the verb da'a, to invite, all right? It's ending with the alif, da'a. Yad'u is its conjugation in the present tense, always third person singular masculine is our reference all the time. So huwa yad'u, he is inviting or he invites. So what do we do to derive the passive participle, the PP? We get rid of the prefix ya, okay, of the conjugation, and we substitute it with the mim. So we keep the fatha, the short vowel fatha. So we have a mad u, and then we just add the shadda, the emphasis sign, all right, to have mad'uun, invited, mad'uun. So from here to here, all right. See how the conjugation in the present tense facilitates the derivation. That's why you have to know your conjugation very well, and I will help you with that. Bana ending with the shortened alif. All right, I don't know why some of them are ending with shortened alif and others with alif, because it gives the same sound. It's just for style. Arabic has a style, a variation that you will never get bored of. All right. So bana, to build. Yabni, the shortened alif turned to the ya. That's why these are called weak letters. They keep changing their forms, okay, and shapes. So yabni, he builds or he's building. So what do? We get rid of the ya, the prefix ya, and we substitute it with the ma, mabniyun, and we top it with the shadda. All right, mabniyun, built. Okay, here, nasiya, to forget, ending with the ya, nasiya. All right, so this is nasiya. It has a vowel, not nasi. Nasiya, yansa. Its conjugation in the present tense ends with the shortened alif. See? It changed its shape, or completely the consonants from ya to alif. ينسى منسي. منسي forgotten. So we have the meme instead of ya, and we brought back the ya. Why? Because if we top the shortened alif with the shadda, you won't have any sound. Alright? Because this is meant to just elongate the sound of the preceding consonants. That's why we brought back the ya. منسي, forgotten. So, كان شيء منسي في أحد ليالي الصيف. It was something forgotten. منسي, forgotten. كان شيء. It was something forgotten one summer night. Summer night. في أحد ليالي الصيف. الصيف summer. في أحد ليالي one summer night. One night here. Okay? So, deriving the passive participle from verbs with more than 3 radicals, because mostly we have learned how to derive the passive participles from form 1. All kind of verbs, okay? Now, what if we have more than 3 radicals? What is the technique for the derivation? I will reveal the secrets, don't worry, okay? So, because I am teaching to detectives, I'm sharing with you my experience and knowledge. Okay. We come with the conjugation of the verb in the present tense of the passive voice. Passive voice, المبني للمجهول. المبني للمجهول. I know we didn't learn this yet. المبني للمجهول. Just know it's there. We will talk about it. So, always third person, singular masculine, huwa or he, which has not yet been covered, I know. But another way, if you want, to look at it is this. The active participle always has a kasra as a stem vowel. For the passive participle, the kasra is always changed to fatha. So, the passive participle for darrasa, darrasa is to teach. You already know that. Alright, this is active voice. Darrasa, he taught. We know that. For the passive voice, the short vowels would be durrisa. It will mostly sound like u, I, a. I sound like a monkey. Durrisa. Or, for example, sana'a, suni'a. U, I, a. Fahama, fuhima. Fuhima, understood. Fuhima. Passive voice. So understood by someone we don't know. The criminal that we're looking for. So, أهذا مفهوم? This is my question to you. Is this understood? So مفهوم is the passive participle of فهم. Alright? So this is فهم is the passive voice. Okay? Past tense. Third person singular. فهم. Okay. So, for durrisa, yudarrasu, the present tense, in the present tense, third person singular, masculine, passive voice. Because for darrasa, you say yudarrisu. Yudarrisu. See here, we have the kasra, yudarrisu. Here, in the passive form, we have yudarrasu. Okay? Yudarrasu. So you get rid of the prefix of the conjugation and you substitute it with the mu. Now, I sound like a cow. مدرس, taught, like it has been taught or it was taught, so it's taught. Alright? And for the active participle is مدرس. So instead of this fatha, we have a kasra, and مدرس is the teacher, the one teaching. So this is the difference in between them. Okay? استخرج is to extract or to derive. يستخرج is its present tense conjugation, passive voice. يستخرج. See here the fatha. So what do? We keep everything as is and we just substitute the u, the prefix u, with mu. مستخرج, derived or extracted or whatever. Okay. So here هذا المستخرج يعطى لكل طالب, which means this extract is given يعطى to each student, لكل طالب, to each student. Okay? So, or as I said, you can say that to form the passive participle, you just add the mu to the verb stem in the past tense. So the only spelling difference between the active participle and passive participle of this verb is the stem vowel. Consequently, the unvocalized active and passive participles of derived verbs look exactly the same. You will be playing all the time with this language. It will trick you. Okay, and you have to find out. That's why you have to learn Arabic in context. Look for such a book. Always Arabic in context. Without context, it's just a nightmare. Okay, so the meanings, of course, are very different. Okay, like مدرس and مدرس, completely different. You will have to determine from context which participle is being used. So the passive participles of derived verbs take regular sound, plurals, as I mentioned, in the same way the active participles of these same verbs do. And we always have some exceptions. Always, always. There is never one rule. There is one rule and a million exceptions. So, for example, the verb اختار, اختار is to choose. This verb has identical active participle and passive participle. مختار, مختار. We couldn't change the vowel of this ta to kasra because it's followed by an alif, and alif has always, mostly, has to be preceded by fatha because it's the best match, mukhtar. So as the active participle mukhtar, the one who choose, alright? But the one who has the can do the action of choosing. But mukhtar as a passive participle is the chosen one. The one is chosen by somebody else, the selected one, the one that has no choice. Not like the active participle. Active participle has that kind of power to choose from. Okay? So you look for the context, because they are identical and there are too many other words like this one that I will mention in other lessons. Now, let me recall some words that you have already heard before and maybe you didn't know that it was a passive participle. For example, مبتدأ. مبتدأ, subject of a sentence. When we have مبتدأ and خبر, subjects predicate. So مبتدأ is from the verb ابتدأ. It's form 8. ابتدأ. ابتدأ, to begin. Okay? So يبتدأ is the يبتدأ is the conjugation, is the verb conjugation in the present tense. Okay? Passive voice. So what do? We get rid of the prefix u and we add the mu. مبتدأ. See? مبتدأ. Now you know what it is. مرفوع, nominative case. مرفوع is the passive participle of رفع. رفع, مرفوع. This is from the pattern مفعول. رفع, it's from one sound verb. رفع, normally to lift. Okay? But مرفوع, grammatically or grammar meaning, when you look for grammar meaning, it means the noun in the nominative case. Okay, the other one, remember, mansoob. Mansoob from the verb nasaba. Mansoob. Mansoob, it means in the accusative case. Okay? And for the third case, majroor, from jarra. This is a geminate verb. Jarra, majroor. Majroor, the genitive case. Noun in the genitive case. Jarra normally is to drag, to pull. Okay? Oh, I think that's it. We've done it again. Wasn't that fun? But still, we couldn't find the suspect. So we have to keep looking for him. So we need more sessions about it, okay? Till we find him and imprison him, okay? So, till then, keep looking for the suspect. But don't forget to miss me and like me. إلى اللقاء.